Bonjour à tous, bienvenue pour cette table ronde consacrée aux questions d'éducation. Avant de commencer, je voudrais vous rappeler que nous utilisons donc des traductions anglais et français aux canaux 9 et 10. So, if you want to use channel 9 and 10 for the translation. So I'm Nicolas Bauquet, I'm the research director at Institut Montaigne. Institut Montaigne is one of the founding think tanks, founding members of the Paris Peace Forum, and we have been very happy to see culture and education included in one of the 6 topics of this current edition. Education is very much at the heart of what we do at Institut Montaigne, and we believe that in a forum that is dedicated to peace, education being the same time the result and really the condition of peace, it made very much sense to have it as one of the main topic and one area where we are welcoming innovative projects in these topics. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity. Pardon, je suis désolé, je me trompe de langue. Je suis très heureux d'avoir cette possibilité d'animer cette table ronde, de vous accueillir. Monsieur le ministre, Mo Taiji, ministre de l'Éducation du Myanmar, nous sommes très heureux de vous accueillir aujourd'hui. AHMAD Dia AL-ATTIA, de l'Humanité Education de Jordanie, Dr Ahmad HASNAH, de Ahmad bin Khalifa University, et enfin Delphine DORSI, du projet Right to Education for All, basé à Londres. Très heureux de vous accueillir tous les 4 pour cette discussion qui va être à la fois très générale, qui nous donne un aperçu de différentes régions du monde où se posent ces défis et ces opportunités, en Asie, au Moyen-Orient, dans d'autres régions du monde, qui nous permettent aussi de couvrir l'ensemble de ces défis depuis l'enseignement primaire, qui est vraiment, je dirais, la base et la fondation de ce droit à l'éducation, jusqu'à l'enseignement supérieur, et avec différents modèles, éducation publique, éducation privée. On discutera de la manière dont ces différents modèles peuvent s'articuler. Peut-être pour commencer cette discussion, je voudrais vous demander à chacun, dans vos responsabilités, dans vos régions, dans vos pays, qu'est-ce que vous voyez comme étant les défis principaux qui sont ceux du domaine de l'éducation aujourd'hui, avec évidemment au Paris Peace Forum un regard particulier posé sur les questions de paix. Monsieur le ministre.
Thank you very much. Yeah, in Myanmar, what we are facing, the big challenges in the education is access to education, inclusion, equity, and quality education, especially in the remote area. That's why we focus on the disadvantaged and marginalized areas. We invest a lot education every year. Yeah. Even though we are investing in education a lot, what we are facing the big challenges is the shortage of the qualified teachers. And then especially, we are facing the big challenges of the global learning crisis. Even though the children are in the schools, but they are not learning very well. This is the big challenges, global learning crisis. That's why we are trying to improve and encourage after completion of the grade 3 students, how is their reading, writing, and mathematics skills. This is very important to improve the quality of the education. Yeah, thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup. Madame Dia AL-ATTIA.
Sorry about that.
C'est bon. Le micro.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I think when I look at the Arab world, I look at the challenge of, first of all, having scaled education, at least at primary and secondary level, over the past 70 years. And mass education or scaling actually takes its own toll on quality. I think Where we still have challenges is in the quality of the education we are providing. But I'm currently working in the post-secondary sector. And so when I talk about technical and vocational education and training, the challenges are actually, first of all, in quality and making sure that what skills and what education we give is relevant to the lives and the livelihoods of the students. But then it's about affordability, because quality doesn't come cheap. And the third is accessibility and making sure everyone gets to it. So quality, accessibility, and affordability, I think, are the top three in all the sectors except primary, where we have compulsory and free education for everyone. And so having struck milestones and being able to get over some of those challenges, we still remain with some others. And I think that's why we are taking an innovative approach to resolve those three in particular. And I can talk to those later, if you like.
Absolument. Dr. Ahmad HASNAH?
Thank you. I think I will approach the question from a different perspective. I think today most of our problems that we're trying to educate the students for are of a type of a multidisciplinary aspect, and they are really beyond only one discipline. If you take climate change, if you take cybersecurity, you will find issues around behavior, public policies, engineering, that all interlinked. And I think in order for us to be able to really prepare the graduate, to prepare the students for the world that they are living in, we need to really provide them with an education of a multidisciplinary, multidimensional type of an experience, that they can really approach the problem with depth in one field, but understanding also the different surrounding elements into it. The second point, which I think it also speaks to the conference we are at, which is peace, is really how we can build an educational system where you are locally relevant, because you are really need to deal with an issues, whether it's a market, whether it's a value of the country or the religion or the culture. You would like to preserve that culture, but at the same time, you would like to prepare your students to be able to accept others, be able to get in dialogue, be able to work in a different society, in a different environment. I think there is no better place more than education, where providing that ability to be in a diversified environment, in a true global environment. Most of the universities and countries, when it comes to globalization, look into it from the number of faculty from a different nationality and number of students. I think this is beyond that. It is really being able to really understand others, find the right way of dialogue, because without that type of an education, the issue of the peace will always going to be hard to deal with. And I think we can speak about a different mode of education, if I may. There is one last thing that I would like to comment on, which is related to innovation in education, is do we really have a same education to every student? Or should we really have more of a competency-based type of an education, where your starting point in your bachelor degree or in your schooling is different than mine, depending on the competency you're starting with and the goal you're trying to achieve. With all what's going on now, from a personalized medicine to personalized thing, I think we ought to look into how we can make the educational experience of the students more personalized, and whether the governments need to spend money on 4 years, for example, for every bachelor degree for each student, or some of them can finish in 2 years, the others might require 5, somebody would require 3, and what are really the entry point compared to the exit points, and how it is really linked into what you need to do in your life. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Delphine Dorsi, vous êtes active depuis de longues années dans le domaine de l'éducation. Vous travaillez en particulier sur la question de l'accès. Le ministre a évoqué cette question de la crise de l'apprentissage, le fait que l'accès massifié, enfin plus important à l'éducation, qui a été un des points de priorité ces dernières années, s'accompagne aussi d'une crise de la qualité de l'éducation qui est donnée. Quelle est votre analyse de ce point ?
Je pense que ce que je voudrais souligner en réponse à cette question, c'est que, comme ça l'a été bien souligné, tout le monde n'a pas accès à l'éducation aujourd'hui. Et ça devrait être une priorité parce que l'éducation est essentielle pour le développement de la personne et de la société et de notre humanité. Quand on parle de qualité et d'accès, ceux qui n'ont pas accès, ce sont ceux qui en ont le plus besoin, les groupes les plus marginalisés, les filles qui sont déscolarisées, les migrants qui arrivent dans nos pays sans avoir forcément les langues adaptées à l'éducation, et les familles les plus pauvres. Et quand on parle de qualité, qu'est-ce que c'est que la qualité de l'éducation ? Il y a plusieurs niveaux de qualité. La qualité, elle peut être comprise de différentes formes. Quand on parle d'innovation, comment on s'assure que l'innovation va répondre aux besoins de tous les élèves. Donc, comme vous mentionnez, l'innovation peut être adaptée justement aux besoins de chaque élève, mais elle peut aussi créer des inégalités. Et ce qu'on voit en ce moment se développer de plus en plus, c'est aussi une transformation de notre système éducatif, où on voit depuis quelques années l'éducation qui est un bien public se transformer dans certains cas en une commodité, en un bien marchand, notamment avec un accroissement des acteurs privés qui sont parfois des écoles commerciales, et où, encore une fois, on laisse à la marge les familles les plus pauvres. Et ça, je crois qu'aujourd'hui, c'est un grand défi pour nous tous, à l'heure où le monde change rapidement, où il y a des mouvements de population énormes, où on parle d'innovation, mais on parle d'innovation pour qui ? De quel type de qualité, quel enseignement on va donner ? Parce que ce n'est pas juste d'apprendre à lire, à écrire, même si c'est essentiel pour naviguer dans la vie, c'est quel outils on va avoir aussi pour s'adapter au monde qui est en changement énorme. Comment on va pouvoir répondre à la différence, à apprendre à vivre ensemble et que l'éducation soit un instrument de paix. Et ça, c'est une vraie question aujourd'hui. Et pour moi, le plus gros challenge, le plus grand défi, même si une question, c'est en effet qu'est-ce qu'on enseigne et qu'est-ce qu'on transmet, c'est le financement de l'éducation. On ne peut pas répondre à ces questions si on ne finance pas correctement l'éducation. Les États, ils sont en crise, il y a un manque financier pour l'éducation. Les raisons parmi lesquelles il y a un manque financier, c'est que il est important de lever plus d'impôts au niveau domestique de manière juste et équitable, et y compris pour que les entreprises privées qui viennent notamment de nos pays riches payent aussi leurs taxes. Les dettes qui pèsent sur les États les empêchent de lever les fonds nécessaires pour financer leur système éducatif, y compris les mesures d'austérité. Et ça, c'est un vrai défi qu'on doit tous regarder aujourd'hui, parce que si on veut répondre à ces questions d'accès et de qualité, il faut qu'on mette les moyens nécessaires pour pouvoir y répondre.
Merci beaucoup. Alors, je dirais le panorama est dressé, des grandes questions. On a la chance de vous avoir avec nous, avec des expériences extrêmement concrètes, extrêmement variées. La première question que j'aimerais peut-être creuser, c'est cette question de l'adéquation entre la formation qui est donnée, les besoins du marché du travail et donc la capacité des élèves et des étudiants à trouver un emploi et je dirais à devenir une partie de ces classes moyennes dont on voit qu'elles sont à la fois menacées et précieuses dans beaucoup de régions du monde. Alors je voudrais m'adresser à vous, Madame Dia AL-ATTIA, pour avoir un petit peu votre expérience que vous menez à Luminus Éducation, qui est donc en Jordanie, centrée sur la question de l'enseignement professionnel et de la manière des différentes formations que vous donnez, des objectifs, de l'originalité des méthodes, pour permettre justement, en partant des publics qui sont souvent les publics les plus vulnérables, et notamment les réfugiés, de leur donner les qualifications qui conviennent pour les emmener vers le marché du travail et vers la classe moyenne.
The landscape, again, is very complex. We've reached the numbers that we want to reach in terms of education at the basic level. In terms of beyond secondary, we still struggle. And that is, first of all, as you clearly pointed out, the connection to employability. because we do have a chance to regenerate or refresh, recreate a middle income sort of segment in society. Without the kind of skills that we intend to deliver through innovative ways, and I'm talking now on behalf of my work in the TVET sector and not with the ministry. The idea is that we have, out of a population of around 9.6 million in Jordan, we have 2.6 million refugees. And there are a similar number of students within the refugee community to those from vulnerable backgrounds within the Jordanian context. And so accessibility is really about trying to reach them all with the kind of programs, as you were clear, also saying, the kind of relevant skills. And so in a very fast changing world where the skills that are necessary aren't always technical, we must first and foremost look at the foundation courses that actually prepare children or students for life beyond studying. And then the technical aspect, we leave, in our model, we leave it to the industry and the best providers of content in the world. So in our School of Automotive Technology Engineering, we would partner, as we are now, with Bosch in Germany, and they deliver the content. What we make sure is that when we have students in the system, they are in mock employment circumstances. So for our hospitality, we have a mock hotel. For the automotive technology, we literally have a big garage where the students come and learn how to literally apply that content as soon as they get it. In the advanced technology school, we have a mock employment space that looks like Amazon or Expedia in Jordan itself. So it's about delivering skills that we already assess and we map through our engagement with the employers. I think that's the most important part, is that the employers, the industry is involved in telling us what is needed and how fast that changes. We are also then mandated to work with them on internships. Those internships also show them and us if anything is missing in that formation or the training or the education. And then over and above it, we then guarantee jobs. So those are typically the kinds of things that we need to do. However, having said that, inclusiveness means that we're getting people in who can't afford this quality education. It's expensive to do the things that I was talking about. And in order to get access to the most vulnerable groups, like the refugees, like vulnerable Jordanians from low-income families, we have come up with a few solutions. One of them is that we work in partnership not only with the government, but with foundations. So while we provide the education, we are always leaning on the government to accredit, to allow, to enable, to regulate, but also to allow us the freedom to navigate with the industry new programs, new approaches, and new delivery methods. So then that's the government part, and the foundations don't actually support the company. What they do is they support the children through scholarships. And that way it becomes affordable. The second part is that we look at very innovative ways of financing students. And in the Arab world, the concept of halal or religiously sanctioned interest-free student loans is very important. So we worked on that and we were able to get a product where the students actually pay the same as they would if they paid upfront. But this way they have the ability to pay around $100 a month, and that becomes more accessible for them, more affordable. And in terms of access, like I said, we are able to attract the students who can't afford it. In some ways, we need to be more creative using technology. So there is a problem when we need, let's say, students from Iraq who want to come and train with us. They would not be able, like a Jordanian student from Amman, to come every day. So our model is flexible blended, so that the students who come from other cities can come at the end of the week or every 2 weeks. The students who come from Iraq can come at the end of the year for a month and do their practical training, because with blended, one part of the education is delivered online and the other is delivered in person. So they can come at flexible times. However, that just means that the online component has to be very engaging. And that's where we become very creative and innovative. We use gamification, we use the kinds of engaging methods that allow students who don't all learn the same way academically to practice as they learn. And I think in many ways that's what's been done. We have 50% at the college, 50% of our students are refugees, 50% of them are Jordanians, 50% are women and 50% are men. And that's really, I have to give credit not only to us, but also to our donor foundations that also make that a deliverable. And of course, then the industry and the connection to employability. So we can be innovative. It's not like we can't, we can. I think it just takes, as you said, more money, but then you have to find a way around it to make it accessible to those who can't afford it.
Merci beaucoup d'avoir pris le temps d'entrer dans le détail, parce que c'est important de voir comment on peut articuler, je dirais, une ambition très forte, une très grande souplesse et une très grande diversité de moyens. Monsieur le ministre, vous avez l'autre point de vue, vous avez le point de vue du régulateur, vous avez le point de vue de la puissance publique. Quelle est votre stratégie, justement, pour à la fois garder un objectif commun pour tout un système et en même temps avoir cette flexibilité suffisante pour créer de nouvelles modalités, avec notamment comme objectif cette employabilité et peut-être le développement de l'apprentissage comme étant un point important?
Thank you. Yeah, for the employability, yeah, quality of the university is very important to improve the relevant competency of the students. Yeah, and DVET should be first-class education. Yeah, most of the education system, yeah, DVET system, and then most of the youths, they don't want to go to, yeah, to the vocational trainings. Yeah, but the most important one is everyone must be educated and trained to meet the high-level skills, knowledge, and attitudes and values are very important. Due to the development of the today, yeah, especially automation technology, yeah, especially Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing. That's why it is not so easy for young generation. Yeah, it is not easy to find the good jobs without high-level skills. Yeah, this is very important. That's why lifelong learning opportunities with the emotional intelligence are crucial to improve the competency of the young generations. Yeah, this is very important. Yeah, and then technology can be used as a tool to improve the remembering skills and understanding skills of the students or learners. Yeah, that's why we named this is high-tech learning. High-tech learning can improve the remembering, memorization, and understanding skills of the learners. But the most important one is the high-touch learning, hands-on training. But for the hands-on training, and then the teachers should be qualified, and they have the management skills in the classrooms for the effectively and efficiently use of the practical learning, high-touch learning, hands-on training. This is very important. High-touch learning can improve the application skills and analysis skills and evaluation skills, and the most important one is to find the good jobs, and then they need to have the innovation and creation skills. Those are very important. Without high-tech learning and high-touch learning, it is very difficult to improve those relevant competencies to find the good job for the better futures. This is very important. Without those competencies, they cannot find the good jobs, and then they will have the problems in the futures. That's why high-tech learning and high-touch learnings are very important to improve the relevant competencies of the youths and learners. And then we need to encourage the lifelong learning opportunities to do the best for the world. This is very important.
Je vous en prie.
Just a quick comment, if I may. I think the first one, I think engaging the society, the private sector, it's a very important element. But my worry always that, we need to educate our students for the future, not for the current needs. And this is always something that universities need to really keep in mind, that what you are trying to do is really not for the job which is today existing in the market, but your ability of really helping those students to be able to be relevant for the future. And a lot of those jobs which will be available when our graduates is out are not existing right now. And I don't think people really know exactly what type of jobs are those. So I think part of that education experience is giving them the ability to be, to stress again the long life learning, but also have the skills of acquiring knowledge and being able to really advance your ability and adaptability and change career if you would like. Because today is, if we go too much in really customizing our education toward a specific industry or a specific talent that currently exists in the job, what would happen is we will help the students in the next maybe few years, and then that students become again a person that we need to really re-uplift their skills and their capability down the road. So we need to keep this in mind when we are really speaking about how we can really match the market skills with our graduate. I think we found it's very important for us. The second point that I would like to touch base on, with the magnitude of the problem that we are facing now, whether on the level of primary education or higher education, this proven that we need a new modality of education. We need a new regulation about, what type of degrees that we're offering. What does it mean? We need to really go away kind of from the traditional systems, and we need ministries of education to start really recognizing, if you would like, micro-masters, micro-bachelor's degrees, certificate, because to catch up with the millions of kids out of the schools, with the millions of people who do not have accessibility, with the funding issue, if we keep thinking on the way of really getting everybody into, if you would like, a classroom and it's the same specification, I think we'll always be running, the gap, it will be shortened, but we will always have that gap widened because the population is growing. So we're calling within our university, what's trying to do is we're providing even for, not only for our students, we're providing different mode of education, like certification on a certain category. Like if you are really somebody who's like to pursue your work in sustainability, which is a big thing, we're providing you with 3 classes online that you can register into and end up getting a certificate that it is really being validated by not only the Ministry of Education, but international bodies. Like, for example, if we're doing sport, we're getting FIFA on engaging to say, the material of managing mega sport event, the sustainability of sport event, this is what we want. So we're trying to provide a different modality of education to try to really bridge that gap, if you would like, not assuming that everybody will be able to afford a full-fledged type of an education, but at the same time providing them with opportunity and hope, if you would like to change their life, because peace comes by providing people with hope, I think.
Merci beaucoup. Je crois qu'on est vraiment au cœur d'un des grands débats, qui est le débat des compétences. La nécessité d'aller chercher les étudiants, de leur donner des compétences concrètes pour les emmener vers le marché du travail. Et en même temps, la question qui est toujours là, c'est-à-dire dans quelle mesure est-ce que ces compétences qu'on leur donne ne vont pas être totalement transformées par la digitalisation, l'automatisation. Dans quelle mesure est-ce que l'usage des nouvelles technologies dans l'apprentissage remplit cette fonction je dirais, d'une éducation pour la vie, ou est-ce qu'elle apporte seulement des compétences qui ensuite vont elles-mêmes être automatisées par la technologie. Je voudrais faire un pas en arrière et emmener cette discussion sur un plan un peu politique. Le constat de départ, c'est la difficulté à faire de l'éducation une priorité budgétaire, une priorité politique. Le constat dans la discussion que nous avons eue, c'est de dire finalement, à un certain moment, l'éducation passe après. Comment on fait pour que l'éducation passe avant, dans la priorité des gouvernements, dans les budgets qu'on met en place, dans les financements publics mais aussi privés. On va y revenir pour la fin de notre discussion. Voilà. Comment on est dans un forum sur la paix, un forum politique. Comment on fait de l'éducation une priorité politique aujourd'hui? Qui est-ce qui veut répondre? Delphine?
Oui, j'ai une réponse, en tout cas en partie, mais je pense qu'on oublie parfois vraiment, on reste des fois sur la question instrumentale de l'éducation qui va aider à créer des emplois, et puis alors on voit que le monde bouge, donc on se dit, bon, de toute façon, ça va bouger après, donc, et l'argent, il faut le mettre ailleurs, et en effet, l'argent, il faut le mettre à plein d'endroits. Mais on oublie parfois, et c'est pour ça que c'est important de revenir à l'essence de l'éducation. Pourquoi l'éducation, c'est si important? Et quand on voit les tensions dans le monde, quand on voit les manifestations, enfin, il y a des millions de gens dans les rues en ce moment, dans le monde entier. Enfin, c'est pas juste dans une petite région où il y a un peu des conflits, où il y a de la guerre. C'est ici en France, les gens sont dans la rue. Vous allez à Hong Kong, les gens sont dans la rue. Vous allez au Chili, les gens sont dans la rue. Enfin, et une des raisons qui font que les gens sont dans la rue, ce sont les inégalités. Et les inégalités, elles commencent de la maternelle jusqu'à l'enseignement supérieur. Et l'éducation est un vecteur d'inégalité comme il est à la fois un instrument de transformation et d'égalité. Et je pense qu'il est important pour les États de vraiment avoir conscience de cette question-là quand ils font leur budget. Parce que si l'éducation, on met plus d'argent dans l'éducation et qu'on s'assure qu'on laisse personne derrière, c'est-à-dire que ce n'est pas juste les familles qui ont de l'argent qui vont pouvoir mettre leurs enfants dans des écoles maternelles parce que c'est possible et qui vont avoir du coup un cerveau plus développé pour rentrer à l'école primaire ou parce qu'ils sont dans l'enseignement supérieur et qu'ils vont pouvoir aller dans les meilleures écoles qui vont leur donner les meilleurs emplois du moment. Mais qu'on s'assure que tout le monde est en marche ensemble et que quand on arrive au milieu de l'emploi, peu importe nos capacités, nos compétences, parce qu'on sait qu'on a tous des dons différents et qu'on fera des choses différentes dans le monde, mais qu'on peut tous contribuer à la société et qu'on n'a pas des inégalités entre des gens qui meurent de faim dans la rue et des gens qui ont la moitié du budget au niveau mondial, on va construire un monde de paix, on va éviter des conflits, on va éviter des manifestations, parce que toutes ces manifestations dans le monde entier ont un coût pour les États. Et donc investir dans l'éducation, c'est investir aussi dans l'économie. Ce n'est pas juste l'éducation en tant que vecteur économique pour l'emploi, mais aussi pour la paix, et la paix qui crée de l'économie et même économise de l'argent, je dirais.
Monsieur le ministre, on a un praticien de cette question.
Yeah, to improve the quality education is not so easy task. Yeah, it depends on so many dimensions. Yeah, it depends on the such as, briefly, early childhood intervention, nutrition, health systems, and quality education are very important. Yeah. And also, without financing, we cannot do what we would like to improve the quality education. That's why in quality education, and then there are so many dimensions, and then it is not so easy, and then, but it depends mostly on the qualified teachers. Yeah, the qualified teachers, they can lead the students to share how to learn, how to learning to learn, and how to learn deeply, and how to learn, to meet those competency for the employer to find the good jobs. Yeah, that's why, for the quality educations, and then we need to work together, hands on hands, to improve the quality education. But in Myanmar, we are facing so many challenges, and then that's why we are strengthening existing education system, and we encourage the learning as a team, because we cannot stay alone. Yeah, we still together, and then we need to work together. That's why we need to learn also. Learning together is also very important, and then we would like to transform also education system to the learning system. This is very important. Learning is the center of the quality education or ecosystem. Yeah, this is very important. If the quality learning system can only can prevent the worsening the inequality you are discussing, and instability, and then for the better future. Yeah, that's why.
May I? Sorry. I think, yes, financing education has been deprioritized over the past at least 2 decades. And in the Middle East, it's understandable. In Jordan, we live amongst countries that are all on fire, literally. And if it's not protests on the streets, it's people being killed. There's violence, there's displacement, internal displacement, and refugees. So you can understand why it's deprioritized. However, the less we invest in education, the more marginalized people will feel, as you were talking about people going onto the streets, but the more susceptible they are to criminalization. So they will take up any kind of engagement that will give them a feeling of success. In the Middle East, it also means radicalization. And we have many sort of groups that are waiting for these young people to feel despondent. If they don't turn to drugs, and if they're not depressed, they have that risk of being recruited by people who will ask them to do harm instead of ask them to contribute and actually drive socioeconomic development in our region. Because when we talk about any Arab country, you will find that you have a Syrian working in Qatar and a Jordanian working in the UAE. And these things are part of our everyday life. So we do not think of employment only in the country or in the system within which we learn. And I don't think the governments have the money, at least in Jordan. I understand all of the pressures on the financing side. So I think, again, the success of all of our work will depend on the partnerships that we bring together. We had the London Compact, which actually committed Europe to at least financing and helping fund the education and other opportunities for the refugees, plus the vulnerable communities in which they themselves live. We, as I said, have been able to strike up some of the partnerships with foundations and with relevant content providers to allow us to succeed. So the financing has to come from also from very different sources. It can't just be the government. We can do more. Civil society wants to do better. And private companies have a vested interest. I have an interest in getting people out of the system who can contribute to the industries with which I am partnering. And when we were talking about the relevance of content, that's why I said, you can't be everything to everyone. So I will go to Bosch. It's their industry. It's the thing that keeps them going. They will keep their curricula up to date. They will actually provide us with the latest. It's the same with coding. You go and you look at somebody who codes for a living. They work with, in Seattle, they work with Amazon. They work with all of these big companies that need the technology, the developers. And then you go to the people who do the best cybersecurity courses. And you always partner with them because you can't be on top of everything in this very fast-paced, changing society. So I think these new partnerships bring also a big opportunity for us. So Bosch Germany has a vested interest in a lot of people in the area, in the region, servicing the new types of cars. They can't sell new cars if we don't offer the cadres, the people who will actually take care of those post-sale. And so I think we are at a crossroads where we need more innovative approaches to financing, just as we need more innovative approaches to accessibility and to quality.
Je vous en prie.
So to start, I cannot agree more than I think providing people with hope through education is very key for every region in the world, but even especially in the Middle East. You have most of the population are on the age of young people. And those people either going to be a fuel of an engine that it's really going to drive development forward, or they can be a fuel of a fire, which is really not going to be only impacting the Middle East peace, but everywhere in the world. So starting from this, I think two comments related to the financing. One, it is really how we can make it, I think for recently, I'm not saying recently, but in recent years, like 10 or more years, when universities and education systems started, and it was started for a public good. They all knew that their job is really to support the community and to take an extra step as a teacher, as a faculty, as a person to really support that. I think we're trying to see, we're seeing more and more education become a commodity for a lot of people, and it is really something that it is getting traded for. And I think not only about the cost, but even making money out of those equation, which is really by itself is a risky when countries, even from a regulation perspective, start allowing for education to become a business, if you would like, because that quality of education becomes a second for a businessman. You know, the first one is revenue and the net revenue and all of that. And then the main driver become, if you would like, how much money I'm going to make out of that business. So I think one area that I see it is really becoming across the universe is really, you know, education becoming like a business. Second element, I think, how do we put, again, education on the agenda on high priority? I think we do not need to wait for government. I think we as an organization, going back to a partnership, I think if you look at a consortium of universities, what they can do, I'm sure that they can really afford to support another university by, you know, helping in curriculum, by helping in faculty teaching. It is not one single university, but building consortium of universities, consortium of schools, resource sharing. Now, with all this technology, you do not really need to pay for libraries. If you partner with another school or with another universities, that would be becoming much cheaper for you. The time difference around the universe is allowing you for also to use a lot of their tools, whether it's computing power or anything, without costing them any additional money. They are not switching down their supercomputer or their computing power when they are asleep as a faculty. So I think what I'm trying to say is you need more and more of partnerships, more and more, not only with the private sector, but among the education institution, in a way of really believing this is our role for the humanity. This is our role of providing hope for society, because we are not immune. If we are not supporting refugees in the Middle East, that problem will hit Europe, it will hit the US, it will hit the US and the UK, and it will cost you much more than what you will be investing right now. And I think that, you know, we need to frame it to the politicians from the language they understand it, not from people who they consider as, you know, educators and passionate about education, but from the way they understand that if you are not interfering right now, the cost on you will be a much more. And that will not be localized in Jordan or Syria or Iraq or something, or in Africa. This will hit you because people will always going to really move towards finding a hope. And I will conclude by just one program, because I think this is very important for me to mention. So as you know, maybe our university is part of the Qatar Foundation, and one program that the foundation is doing in education above all is getting back students into schools, which is really trying to really initiate them, giving them hopes, even in the early stage, as you've said, at least having them start to be able to read and write.
Merci beaucoup. Je crois que c'est le moment d'ouvrir la discussion à la salle. Nous attendons vos questions qui permettront aussi d'aborder les points que nous n'avons pas encore traités. Et ils sont nombreux. Je vous en prie. Est-ce qu'il y a un micro pour monsieur, premier rang?
Well, thank you very much. The ambassador of Myanmar, here based in Paris. And in fact, I would like to congratulate all the panelists for the presenting different perspectives. For instance, the HAIFA, the AL-ATTIA, you are asking about the support from the certain companies are affording for education, that this is for future, so that they can probably buy products. That is increasing the productivity. This is a new perspective we learn about the education. But it can be the comments rather than questions, because for instance, when I look at, listen very carefully to Ms. DELPHINE DORSI, you talk about the people come to the streets because of the inequality they are fighting against. Maybe it can be true in so many cases, but you mentioned about the case of the Hong Kong. Hong Kong, the people are on the streets, not because of the inequality they are fighting for. They are fighting for the extradition treaty or bill which the government is trying to introduce. So maybe it cannot be always the truth that they are fighting because of the inequality. That is my comment. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Peut-être on va prendre plusieurs remarques ou questions en même temps.
Hello, my name is Jasper. I work in higher education in New York City at Columbia University. And I was wondering, how do you think countries, especially those that have recently experienced instability or conflict, how can they guard against the commodification of education, especially when their governments are less robust at that time? Thank you.
Merci. Est-ce qu'il y a une dernière question?
Oui, bonjour, Charles-Emmanuel Bélanger, directeur général de l'ONG Aide et Action. Ma question est sur le développement de l'enseignement privé. Delphine DORSI en a fait allusion à un moment donné dans la présentation. Comment les États peuvent être amenés à réguler, à contrôler cet enseignement privé qui, dans les pays en développement, prend de plus en plus le pas suite à une insuffisance de qualité de l'enseignement public et qui, malheureusement, crée de plus en plus d'inégalités et n'est pas forcément un enseignement de qualité non plus.
Merci beaucoup. C'est peut-être l'occasion pour vous, Delphine, de revenir sur une des initiatives que vous portez aujourd'hui au forum. Et puis, on aura peut-être le ministre qui pourra réagir sur la manière dont lui, en tant que régulateur, aborde cette question.
Oui, donc en effet, la question de l'accroissement des acteurs privés dans l'éducation, de la commodification de l'éducation, qui va de pair aussi avec des systèmes publics qui sont déficients. C'est une réalité, les deux fonctionnent en même temps. Donc nous, on est venu ici pour porter un projet qui s'appelle les principes d'Abidjan. Peut-être certains d'entre vous en ont entendu parler. Donc c'est un texte juridique qui a été adopté au mois de mars par 55 experts en droits de l'homme, qui a été le résultat de 3 ans de consultations qui ont impliqué de nombreux acteurs, des communautés locales jusqu'aux enseignants, jusqu'aux représentants des États, y compris des acteurs privés, pour essayer de voir comment on peut répondre à cette question du point de vue des droits de l'homme, puisque les droits de l'homme, a priori, tout le monde est d'accord, puisqu'on a tous ratifié au moins la Convention des droits de l'enfant, et que toutes les décisions politiques, les résolutions politiques en lien à l'éducation font référence au droit à l'éducation. Et donc, c'est comment les droits de l'homme peuvent nous aider à répondre à cette question sur un point d'accord sur comment réguler ça. Donc, les principes d'Abidjan, en fait, ce sont 97 principes qui explicitent le droit international existant et donc les obligations des États, ce à quoi ils se sont engagés au regard de l'éducation. Et donc, ces principes, ils sont articulés autour de différents domaines. Donc, un des aspects, c'est l'importance de l'État de fournir une éducation gratuite de qualité. Donc, ce n'est pas juste qu'elle soit gratuite si elle n'est pas de bonne qualité, puisque dans ce cas-là, on va vers du privé qui est payant. Et l'éducation doit être gratuite, pas juste affordable, je ne sais pas comment on dit en français, abordable, oui, merci. Et ça prend en compte aussi les difficultés des États, c'est-à-dire qu'un État, il peut parfois ne pas être en mesure de pouvoir fournir directement une éducation publique gratuite de qualité à tous, de l'enseignement préscolaire jusqu'à l'université. Mais il doit mettre en place systématiquement, immédiatement, un plan d'action, comment on va financer l'éducation avec des objectifs clairs, des indicateurs, comme on disait, je le disais au début, de soulever des fonds à travers les impôts qui soient justes. En effet, c'est pas d'aller taxer les gens qui n'ont déjà plus d'argent, mais les grosses entreprises qui gagnent des millions, qui ne payent pas d'impôts, c'est quand même problématique. Et donc, les principes d'Abidjan, au-delà d'aider les États aussi à réfléchir ou comment progressivement on peut arriver à cet objectif, même si ce n'est pas immédiat, il y a tout un aspect sur la régulation, parce que le droit international reconnaît une place à l'éducation privée, notamment pour garantir le pluralisme de l'éducation, en partie pour les minorités, par exemple, mais ça doit être fait sous certaines conditions qui garantissent le droit à l'éducation. Donc les principes, on développe tout un aspect sur la régulation, que ça va de la gouvernance jusqu'aux infrastructures dont on parlait, jusqu'au contenu de l'éducation. Et il y a tout un aspect aussi qui est très utile pour les gouvernements sur le financement de l'éducation privée avec des fonds publics, parce que l'argent devrait d'abord aller en priorité au financement d'une éducation publique, gratuite, de qualité. Et quand, dans certaines circonstances, il est nécessaire d'avoir recours au privé, ça peut arriver notamment dans les pays qui sont en difficulté après des conflits, où il y a des acteurs privés qui viennent pour pallier l'insuffisance temporaire de l'État, ça doit être fait sous certains critères. C'est pas juste chacun fait ce qu'il veut. En tout cas, si on veut suivre le droit international et s'assurer que le droit à l'éducation est respecté, notamment des critères de substance, financer des acteurs qui vont plutôt être sur des projets philanthropiques plutôt que des écoles commerciales qui font du business, avoir une possibilité pour l'État, quand il est prêt et plus solide, de pouvoir reprendre le contrôle de son éducation et petit à petit que des acteurs privés se désengagent. Il y a tout un panel de principes à suivre qui permettent que l'éducation soit renforcée et que les acteurs privés viennent contribuer à la réalisation du droit à l'éducation et pas à affecter le droit à l'éducation, ce qu'on peut voir en ce moment dans un certain nombre de pays où ça exacerbe les inégalités et ne répond pas toujours à la qualité de l'éducation. Donc on a un site web, ce sont les principes d'Abidjan. On a un stand ici, vous pouvez venir nous visiter, on sera ravis d'échanger avec vous sur ce projet.
Merci beaucoup. Tout à fait. Je dirais que ça illustre bien tout l'intérêt de la démarche du Paris Peace Forum d'avoir cette confrontation entre les initiatives de la société civile et les gouvernements. Monsieur le ministre, on a dit que cette pluralité de types de financement était important. Comment est-ce que vous, en Birmanie, au Myanmar, vous permettez cette articulation? Quel est votre point de vue à la fois de régulateur par rapport à cette question, quelle est la place pour le financement privé de l'éducation et quel principe de régulation?
Yeah, private sector participation and involvement is very important. Yeah, but we need to working together. Yeah, to improve the cooperation and collaboration, to improve the quality education. That's why we encourage the private education institutions in Myanmar. But now we are drafting the private school laws, and then we would like to regulate on the quality assurance and accreditation for the not only private education institutions, yeah, but also public institutions are also very important to improve the quality education. Yeah, that's why regulatory on quality assurance and accreditation is very important. Yeah.
Merci.
Call me optimistic, but I always see opportunities.
On a le droit d'être optimiste.
And I think we need to. Not just the right, I think we need it. I cannot see that it's anything but a win-win situation. If government is happy to regulate more rigorously and allow the private sector to deliver within the quality assurance and within the regulatory framework, I think what you can have is the partnerships where, let's say, with our program to do hospitality training, okay, hotel management. And if we have 5 different levels and some of the TVET centers that the government runs are floundering, and we know that the industry needs 5,000 people by 2021 to work in this sector, I can't see anything wrong with them asking us for our curriculum to be put into 1 or 2 centers where then their teachers, their trainers become also adept at the kind of delivery that we're offering, and then they take it forward. At the moment, they don't have the funds, fine. What you do is you put all your resources into the regulation, you put the resources into quality assurance, and you allow somebody to work while you get your act together. If they are now struggling with 1 million challenges, and they are, I can assure you they're coming to us now, because what they want to see is a successful model. Already the commodification of of education as a whole has already become a problem in Jordan. And it is, in effect, making that gap between the rich and the poor, between those who have access to quality and those who don't, it's getting bigger. So yes, they need to step up to that challenge, but I don't think they need to stop the good schools, the good universities, the good colleges. If it's an ATM machine, so it's a university where people come, they pay their fees, and in the end get nothing, and do not get any kind of anything to show for the quality of education they're providing, they have every right to say, you have 3 years by which you have to get to 1, 2, 3. Put targets, put objectives. But if you don't have the money, at least save your resources and make sure that you let those private players do it right. Make each one of them. Adopt a center, adopt a school. It can work. Our young people, I'm not young, but everybody I know who's a millennial or a little older or a little younger, really they are social entrepreneurs. They want to do good. They want to see a better society around them because they understand that it's not just social justice. What's good for all of us is good for one. It's the 3 musketeers. All for one and one for all. We all win. And I think these are opportunities. We just aren't availing ourselves of them.
Merci beaucoup. Docteur HASNAH, je crois que le mot de la fin vous revient. Il nous reste 1 minute.
I'm gonna really speak to that question more. I think my colleague already spoke about, non-for-profit or a different regulation that ministries can do to really regulate private sector's ability to get into the education. So I will maybe touch base on how we can protect countries after conflict from really being subject to the commodity. And I think in that area where I think some of the principles of the global governance need to kick in. A lot of global governance principles to relate it to a lot of other elements within the globe is being regulated, whether it is really in the area of economy, in the area of trades, in a lot of other areas. I think education, it's still really, there is no kind of, if you would like, that clear indications from a global governance perspective from UN or others about how those things really get into different countries. And I think this is one area we need to push forward on. How do you protect education in conflict zone, post-conflict zone? How do you deal with those people who are functioning, what you are entitled for, what you cannot really make money out of it, for example, as a global governance regulation. But the other elements, I think it is really encouraging more and more of really the educators themselves, universities, to take their roles and really get into the field and really act, because humanity and teaching and making life better for the future of people is in the heart of every vision and mission of any educational organization. Yes, it starts with their own people, but does not mean it stops there.
Yeah, I would like to answer. Yeah, what we are doing in Myanmar for the conflict areas or disadvantaged and marginalized areas, and then in Myanmar, basic education is free. Yeah, we support the free textbooks to all students, yeah, in the basic education schools. Yeah, that's why we support the access to education with the mobile schools program in Myanmar in the conflict area. That's why we support the volunteer teachers in those areas. And yeah, we not only for the basic education, but also we support the competency-based modular short courses for the relevant to that area needs, yeah, training program we support. And but also, yeah, we support also university education program for the temporary or university distance education program to those area. Yeah, what we are doing in Myanmar. Yeah, thank you very much.
Très bien. Monsieur le ministre, merci beaucoup. Chers amis, merci d'avoir participé à cette table ronde qui nous a permis de saisir la diversité des enjeux, la diversité aussi des points de vue sur certaines questions. Et je crois que c'était très riche. Je crois que la meilleure manière de poursuivre, c'est d'explorer au sein du Paris Peace Forum tous les projets relatifs à ces questions d'éducation pour, je dirais, prolonger cette discussion avec des engagements concrets. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you all.